Welcome back, everybody. You got Will and I Man here from Block Runner, and today we're going to be talking about a bunch of different DEXs that have been taken off. One in particular has done a 400x in a month, believe it or not.
Right before our very noses, dude.
Right under our noses.
Yeah. We were totally privy to this information, but have been holding out on you all this whole time.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Well, before we get into it, let's get our feet on the ground with what's going on with Bitcoin first. I don't know. I like to do this because this is the pulse of the entire industry, and it looks like we're going into another accumulation zone, right? Just exactly what happened around this range over here.
Yeah. I mean, for a second, I thought maybe there's going to be a chance of like just a straight V-shaped bounce.
Yeah, no.
Just how bullish this market's been. And then yesterday, probably one of the most bullish news events of the year came out with the whole Tether FUD, being canceled.
Dude, that's so true, man. We didn't even talk about that. Well, yeah. I guess that was yesterday, right? So
still relevant today, because might as well bring it up. But yeah, that was. If you're new to this crypto space, dude, this is like FUD we've been hearing for years. You know what I mean? Back in 2017, this was one of the major bear cases for cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. Everyone was speculating that Tether is the whole reason for the pumping of Bitcoin's valuation.
Yeah, that's right.
Now we kind of know that's not the case anymore. Now that we have like big institutional level players actually pumping the value of the thing, but now we have like some judicial backing, I guess. I don't know what you'd call this. Like, the law has weighed in.
Yeah, it says Bitfinex and Tether will admit no wrongdoing, but they will pay $18.5 million and provide quarterly reports describing the composition of Tether's reserves.
Yeah, that's what they did, dude. They gave him a nice little slap. Like, you like that, Tether?
Yeah. Yeah. So
that's what they do, man. All they do is slap people a little bit. I don't know why we're so afraid of the SEC, dude. They don't do shit, dude. They're freaking weak.
So think about this. They got slapped with an $18.5 million when they're worth $34 billion.
Yep.
Not even 1% of their valuation.
Yeah, I mean, so good for whoever.
But you know what?
Together, dude.
This happens. This happens all the time in traditional finance. Banks, they do a bunch of shady shit all the time, and they get fined all the time. And it's part
nobody ever goes to jail.
Yeah, nobody ever goes to jail, and it's just part of business.
I guess it's bullish as fuck, then, dude. That means we're part of the crew now, like officially.
Yeah.
Like our crypto titans are part of the, the financial cartel. Like we get the same little slaps here and there, and like the same, the same like bro hug afterwards.
Yeah.
Like no jail time for you guys. Like,
yeah,
it's all good, So yeah, it's bullish, super bullish, so bullish to the point where I thought Bitcoin it's gonna just like V-shape. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
No sell off for me.
But you know what? I mean, let's say Tether was pumping their own bags and just printing Tether out of thin air and pumping the valuation of Bitcoin. I mean, how much could they really affect the price of Bitcoin?
Well, remember, we know, like, just because there's 900 billion in
that's a good
Bitcoin
point.
Value doesn't mean it's all on the market at all times.
That's a good point. Yeah. I forget about that.
Yeah, you always got to remember that.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've been audited, I'm guessing, pretty heavily. This has been like, I think, more than a year-long investigation.
Yeah, at least.
We were reporting on this like back when we first started this podcast, dude, the whole Tether investigation.
That's true.
So
yeah, the Tether FUD.
Almost 2 years. So here it is. All that work for that.
Yeah.
Like very anticlimactic, dude. Like I was expecting some fireworks, something very...
Yeah, like a huge dumping of Bitcoin.
And that's probably, it came at like crazy time. Like what Bitcoin was just dumping organically because it was like just too overbought.
That's right.
And then if this would have been like the reverse decision, like no, like Tether is fraudulent.
Yeah, we would see $30,000, $20,000 Bitcoin again.
Oh my God, we see a repeat of the COVID sell-off right now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like everything 80% down.
But even if it did do that, that's a straight buying opportunity because Bitcoin, I mean, it's independent of Tether. Bitcoin is not as big as it is because of Tether.
People would just panic.
Yeah, it's just people panicking.
It's like gut, first instinct is the panic, I guess.
Yeah.
For lot of people.
So going back to Bitcoin, is we're just going to see another consolidation, almost exactly like a mirror image of what happened once we reached 42,000, we hit 28,000, and then all of a sudden it just explodes even further. So this is healthy again. For those new people into the space, do not panic. This is good.
Yeah, more than likely we're going lower. So also not panic.
Yeah. So yeah, take a look at this dip here and then compare it to what just happened, right? It dips, it recovers a little bit, and then it dips further, and then all of a sudden there's some rally. You know, Oracle jumps in, Apple comes in, whatever it is, Toyota, whoever jumps in buying Bitcoin, and then we're back to 70,000 or 80,000 until another dip.
That's true. That's how it goes, dude. All right. Well, outside of that.
Yeah, outside of that is these DEXs going insane. So let me kill this here and let's take a look at QuickSwap. So QuickSwap is at $431, and if we go back in time, let's move you out of the way, and we go to its bottom price here. It was not too long ago about, you guys can't see it, it was about $1.
I saw it for like a half a second. It was like 70 cents or something like that.
Yeah, so
pretty cheap.
Yeah, so up until January 9th, it was about $1. And then since January 9th, I mean, you see like a massive explosion to $431, which that's its current price. So 431x, dude.
Yeah, dude. Pretty wild, man. So congrats. I mean, there are some people in our Discord. Once again, we got some
all-stars. Yeah.
Yeah, we got some, like, they should be having YouTube channels, not us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're finding these gems and like not telling anyone, you know. So if you want to find out, you got to join Discord, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get in early on some of these pickings. So yeah, why didn't we freaking cover it? I don't know, man. Like, I guess we didn't know too much about Matic at the time whenever we first heard about QuickSwap. Or we did, but we weren't so overly bullish, I guess.
I mean, it's just that's the point of this video, is that there's so many DEXs, which increases fragmentation. Which, I mean, if you get into any of these DEXs like Pangolin, like on Avalanche, you know, buying Pangolin is probably a good idea, right? Because it's only, what is it, 8 million market cap? What the hell? Is that right?
You are seeing that correctly, dude.
What? 8 million market cap?
Yeah. So having just talked about how we whiffed bigly on QuickSwap, you know, it wouldn't be such a bad idea to kind of start looking for these alternative, like, layered. This isn't even a layer 2. This is just a scalable DEX.
Yeah.
You know, QuickSwap is a scalable DEX. It's got high throughput, but of course sacrificing centralization, you know, trilemma. Yeah. Same thing happening here. Same thing with Pangolin. This is on the Avalanche blockchain, right? One of these silos we've been talking about, you know, creating their own ecosystem. So will this take off? I mean, it all depends, I guess. As soon as Avalanche hits like the mainstream like wave, you know, once people start talking about Avalanche the way they do about Binance Smart Chain, yeah, I imagine this takes off too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's just all these, QuickSwap, Pangolin, and there's several others. They're just Uniswap clones. They're just adapted to the specific platform that they're trying to launch on.
Yeah, so I mean, they're replicating, literally, like pretty much straight copying the user interface and experience of Uniswap and deploying it on a, you know, a gasless or very low gas environment. That's it. That's all that's happening here. There's really no wheels being invented here.
Yeah,
you know, it's just, that's why it screams like opportunism. But I mean, a lot of crypto is opportunism, right? Like, it's just people jumping on the next wave.
Yeah,
and capitalizing. I mean, that's the nature of this market, especially in a bull market.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's part of being like a decentralized ecosystem. Like, you never know what's going to win out at the end of the day.
Yeah, and on top of that, we have a siloed, I guess, cryptosphere. Everything's siloed. So within the silos, they need their equivalent of Uniswap.
It's true.
You know, they need their equivalent of Aave. So we're going to see a lot of this stuff, a lot of these repeat technologies on different blockchains.
It would have been nice though if they could have at least put a little bit of effort into, like, you know,
some innovation.
At least, not even, dude. Just change the color scheme at least.
Yeah.
Like, fucking A. For this one in particular, the Tango. Freaking Tango. Dude.
Yeah, I mean their color is like orangey, burnt orange, right? Why not just
Yeah,
go
why
with
not?
it?
Yeah, exactly, dude. This is pretty much only thing they swapped out is the unicorn. You
Yeah,
know,
that's right.
come on, man, you could do a little bit better. But
Yeah,
regardless, I mean, it is what it is, dude. Having said that,
yeah.
Polkadot being like the big emerging silo, that we're anticipating. There's a project over there. I guess we'll get into after we kind of briefly go over this called
Well,
Polkadot.
yeah, so Dan Reeser, he has another banger tweet storm. The first one we kind of went over, and Dan Reeser kind of explained the whole ecosystem on Polkaswap, or not Polkaswap, but Polkadot.
In
And
24 tweets.
yeah, in 24 tweets. And so now I don't know how this happened, but my red highlight is completely gone, dude.
I remember though, it was something about like
Here it is. Here it is. Yeah. So anyway, he has another one explaining parachain crowdloans. And this is how a parachain crowdloan is how you unlock the tokens of the underlying technology that you're looking to acquire. Like, for example, Akala or Moonbeam, right? And so it says here, if I'm participating, I would contribute, for example, 100 DOT to the parachain. The DOT is then locked, sometimes called bonded, for the duration of the parachain slot. In Akala's case, it's 2 years. For my support, I would be airdropped Akala. So this is exactly the same mechanism that most of these projects are going to do. I think it's completely dependent on what these projects want to do with their token, depending whether or not they get onto the chain itself. But just keep in mind that there's two chains. There's the Polkadot chain or Polkadot ecosystem, and then there's Kusama. Kusama is the test net of Polkadot. And usually projects will go onto Kusama first and then test a bunch of innovation that they have there and then move on to Polkadot. But not all projects are doing that. So, and Kusama, as you know, making it sound like a test net is making it less valuable than what it really is. Just because Kusama right now is like, what's their valuation? Do you remember?
It's over 2 billion now.
Yeah,
It's
2 billion valuation on a test net. Come on.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a test net. Like,
Yeah, it's not a test net. It's more like a playground.
and not even, dude. It's like a legitimate blockchain ecosystem with real value. It's just like any other blockchain now.
Yeah.
It's just a Polkadot fork, but with its own community, its own governance, its own liquidity.
Right.
So who the fuck knows what this community can spawn? I mean, obviously, the path of all Polkadot projects is going to be to launch like a clone of their own selves onto the Kusama network. So who's to say that community that picks up that let's call it like the prototype of a Polkadot project doesn't like run with it and turn it into something even better?
Yeah, you know what?
The main product's supposed to be.
It's not so much a test net for these projects like Akala and Moonbeam and other Polkadot aspiring projects. We have to remember these Polkadot projects are not Polkadot projects until they get a parachain, right? But what Kusama is really a test net for the Polkadot team to go and implement new innovations within Kusama first and making sure it works there and then pulling that technology and putting it onto the Polkadot network. So that's really what Kusama's for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's the parachain offerings, and I do recommend you guys read this entire thread. It's 34 tweets from Dan Reeser. He explains everything, about the parachain offerings, crowdloans, all that stuff.
It's mostly stuff we've been talking about, so it's good. But Dan Reeser, he's a fucking Polkadot beast.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now he's part of like the Akala team, so he knows everything, the ins and outs of the Polkadot ecosystem. So it's good to get confirmation that what we've been telling you isn't like total ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and yeah, pretty much he's kind of reinforcing what we've been saying. Like there's still not enough clarity as far as the actual like what's actually going to happen the day of the
That's true.
Options.
Yeah,
like,
we don't know what the interface is going to look like. We don't know what website it's going to be on or anything like that. And I don't even think most of the Polkadot ecosystem know this as well. So it's sort of a holding period. But most importantly, you have to have Polkadot. You have to have DOT tokens in order to get your project's tokens, right? Akala, for example. And then you need Kusama, and then you have to commit, right? Whether they're looking to be on a parachain for between 6 to 2 years, you're locking up your funds between 6 months to 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's the commitment.
It's far as we know, that's all you can know right now. So just stay tuned. As soon as we get more updates, we'll definitely be covering it for sure.
Yeah, and one of the things that he posts here, which I thought was interesting, is what's the difference between a crowd loan and an ICO? In an ICO, you're swapping Ethereum or potentially Bitcoin for whatever project tokens you want, right? You're literally swapping it. And here, you're just locking up your DOT tokens for X amount of time. And after that amount of time expires, you get your DOT tokens back. So that's the main difference between an ICO and a crowd loan.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on top of that, he also does explain that let's say you get the Akala tokens, there could be a chance that the percentage of those tokens that you do get back from Akala for staking or locking up your DOT tokens is also a percentage of Akala tokens is also locked up for a vesting period, they call it. And
yeah, so, which I actually like. I mean, at first it sounds kind of like crappy, like, man, I want all my tokens at once. But you think like if you could put yourselves in the shoes of the people who are designing this like, you know, architecture, I guess, this design, like why they would do it this way is because they've seen what happens when you lock up tokens for like X amount of time and then you just kind of like dump them into the market. Like, yeah. Obviously, it's not like conducive to like sustainable, healthy, you know.
Yeah, and it weeds out the traders. It weeds out the people who are not supporting a particular project because they believe in it, right?
Yeah, too. Yeah, people who want quicker, like, you know, short-term gains. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. It kind of like pushes them away to kind of like explore outside of that ecosystem. So it stabilizes the whole damn thing, which is what you want.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we covered a lot today, right? We covered DEXs, what they're doing, Pangolin, QuickSwap. We talked about Dan Reeser and Polkadot, and you know, maybe
we're going to talk about PokeSwap, but I don't think we got enough time.
Yeah, we'll talk about PokeSwap. It's essentially a Uniswap clone, but on the Polkadot network.
But I mean, they do say there's cross-chain, you know, features within this exchange, which is like kind of like the main selling point to me nowadays. After discovering any swap, it's like if you're making a DEX and you're not cross-chain compatible, like I don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah.
At this point, so yeah, I'm definitely interested in what PokeSwap has to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll probably do a deep dive on PokeSwap pretty soon here, and let's see what they're doing because Polkadot's gonna be huge, and if that's huge, PokeSwap might get huge as well. So having said that, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate all the comments on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe, share this video with others, and follow us on Twitter at The Block Runner and also at MetaZone.io. We got some juicy stuff happening in Decentraland, and we're going to be talking about Decentraland pretty soon too. We're just
probably on the podcast, most likely
on the podcast, just because it's something that we're into in terms of like our own project, but we also need to do a short video on Decentraland to like kind of onboard people, because there are things that you can do in Decentraland from an NFT perspective that you can't do anywhere else, and that's why, you know, we're really excited about it. But thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video.
Peace.